Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to reflect on the four seasons of reconciliation, and I will choose the topic reconciliation in Canada. So, what is the reconciliation in Canada? The reconciliation in Canada is the ongoing process of acknowledging and addressing the historic and current injustice faced by the Indigenous people to build the respectful and the equitable relationship between Indigenous and the non-Indigenous communities. Here's one beautiful quote which I picked from the course. After some 500 years of the relationship that has swung from partnership to the domination, from mutual respect and cooperation to paternalism and attempted assimilation, Canada must now work out fair and lasting terms of coexistence with the Aboriginal people. And here's some other points about the Reconciliation Commission. A portion of the Indian Residential School Settlement Agreement (IRSSA) funded a 5-year Truth and Reconciliation Commission that would provide opportunities for individuals, families, communities to share their experience. And the commission, established in 2008, was mandated to create a comprehensive historic records on residential schools and lay the foundation for lasting reconciliation across Canada. They bore witness to over 6,750 survivors who who testimonies will now become a part of the permanent historical archive, never to be forgotten or ignored. The TRC's final report, Honoring the Truth, Reconciling for the Future, was delivered in 2015 in Ottawa. It consists of 6 volumes, around 3,000 pages, documenting the target experiences of close to more than 100,000 residential school students.
According to New2 BC, Canada is ranked as the second best country globally in 2023, ranked by US News. Canada has a reputation as a nation where cultural diversity and equality, human rights and dignity are celebrated and guaranteed. But I learned upon careful reading of Canada's history that it is just half of the truth. Canada was founded on a series of bargains with the Aboriginal peoples that is, until now, not fully honored. Reports gathered that the Aboriginal people's living condition is way beyond the living standards of the non-Aboriginal people. As such, the homes of the Aboriginal people are more often flimsy, leaky, overcrowded, and cold. Their water systems in the community is not sufficient. Therefore, illness is more common and lower life expectancy. Moreover, violence and alcohol abuse are more common. Hence, they spend more time in prison. Most Aboriginal people do not have jobs. More of their children do not graduate from high school and do not go on to colleges and universities. The Aboriginal peoples want control over their lives. They want their lands, resources, and self-chosen government that would reconstruct social, economic, and political order. They want time, space, respect from Canada to heal their spirits and fortify their cultures.
As my opinion, the fourth season of recognition workshop was eye-opening and emotional. It provided a deep dive into the history of impact of on indigenous peoples, which was both enlightening and challenging. That interactive elements like storytelling and group discussion really helped me to drive home to personal and collective impacts on the historical event. It was a sobering reminder of the injustice faced by indigenous community, and it made me reflect deeply on my own role in reconciliation. The workshop was not just educational but also motivating, inspiring me to take concerned action towards building better relationship and supporting indigenous rights and incentives. Overall, it was powerful experience that underscored the need of for continue learning and meaningful change. Thank you.
Each 4S is related to the 4 seasons of the years and compares the meaning of each season with the Through and Reconciliation journey. Let's explore each of them. The season 1 is the winter, that means through. The focus on understanding the history and legacy of the residential schools and colonialism. The goals is recognize the harm caused by the colonialism, acknowledge the past, and lay the foundations for reconciliation. The season 2 is the spring, awareness. The focus on building understanding and empathy through indigenous perspective and experience. The goal is to develop awareness, challenge bias, and foster empathy and understanding. The season 3 is summer, reconciliation. This focuses on exploring principles and practices of reconciliation and building relationships. The goal is develop a deeper understanding of the reconciliation, build relationships, and explore ways to work together. The season 4 is fall action. The focus on implementing the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to the action and sustain momentum. The goal is developing a plan for action and commit to reconciliation and sustained momentum for meaningful change. Each season builds up on the previous one. So once we do this workshop through a journey of learning, growth, and action toward the reconciliation. Thank you.
During this workshop, I think it was really eye-opening and a transformative experience. It really helped me to understand what indigenous people went through and like have a deeper understanding of like the different perspectives of colonization. What I really liked about this workshop was the first person interviews. I think that the workshop having this kind of interviews were like gave me a really personal connection to the content that they were trying to provide. That really made me feel like understand more what happened, how they feel, like their points of view and all of this, right? Another key point that I really liked was that this workshop helped me understand reconciliation as an ongoing process instead of like just a single event that just happened and that's it. I think they really tried really hard on this workshop on to like put in your mind that this is an ongoing process, that everyone has to work together to help about it, that it's not just okay reconciliated and that's it. I think that point really stayed with me, of like just being an ongoing process for reconciliation. Another thing that I really liked was like listening to indigenous voices were vital or are vital for a true understanding and reconciliation. So listening to people, listening to all the perspective of indigenous people, I think that really helps to improve our understanding, to be like more knowledgeable about it, and to also help with reconciliate this. And yeah, overall just like understanding more about the indigenous perspectives, I really like it. I really like the workshop, and as I said before, like what stayed with me the most was that understanding that reconciliation was an ongoing process and not just a single event.
When we talk about reconciliation, what's the meaning of it? Try to Google it and it will show the meaning of reconciliation as a restoration of friendly relations. It is about making friends to each other, about unity, brotherhood, or sisterhood, that all people are equal. And I was enlightened about this course because this course represents the history of Canada and how colonization affects the livelihood of indigenous people. It also represents how the First Nation children was maltreated, had a unfair treatment about the benefits, and was deprived from their freedom. So it is very saddening to know the history of indigenous people here in Canada. So my key takeaways is because of what happened, because of the colonization, people suffered from traumatic experiences, and as new generations living here in Canada as immigrants and non-immigrants, we should always respect and fight racism, and just respect all the cultures, because Canada is now known for diversity, where all people meet here in Canada. And that's all.